Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. It is Erin Pika here, and I have to jump on live. Like I have to, because I have to tell y'all something. So I sure don't want to offend anyone. Actually, I'm kind of okay with offending people these days, so that's okay too. So hello. I don't know if I'm the only person that is totally annoyed by this, but it drives me crazy when I am talking to someone about whatever it might be, and their response is, I don't have time for that. This is not about my business. It was actually something totally not related to business, and they said that, and I was just like, oh, it drives me crazy. So why don't they say something like, I don't prioritize well, or I choose not to make time for that? Because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? So the statement that they don't have time for that, it doesn't even make sense. So I hear people say this all the time. So I'm going to assume that it's probably a problem for a lot of people. So I'm going to give you some tips to help with it. And maybe you won't use this in your vocabulary for the future. At least don't say it around me. So my first tip is planning. I heard this many years ago. I was actually sitting in a Weight Watchers meeting, and they told us, if you fail to plan, plan to fail. And I was like, oh, that's really good. And I've said this for years. And they were definitely talking about like your food plan and planning out your meals, but this can be with anything. This can be your business. This can be, anything you're doing, you should plan it out. And if not, then you're probably going to fail going forward. So Sundays in our family are the days that we like sync our calendars together. We check activities. My husband and I discuss our work schedules, and we kind of figure out and plan the whole week so that we have, we're on board and we're not like last minute calling each other and being like, oh my goodness, so-and-so needs picked up, or we have this activity. So we just sync everything on Sundays, and that has been a big game changer for our family. And I prep the kids' lunches. Sometimes they help. Olivia did help me today, surprisingly. She's 13 and she doesn't like to help do that. So that's all done for the day. I do that because my mornings, I don't like them to be hectic. So I know that if I can plan out the lunches in the morning, then I know it's just less time I have to spend. I mean, if I can plan out the lunches on Sundays, it's less time I have to spend in the mornings. I go ahead and plan out our dinners for the week, because if I don't, I know what happens. Then we just end up picking something up, and I try not to do that. So if I plan it out, for the most part, we stick to it. Not always, but for the most part, yes. So it has been 2 years since I quit my job as a nurse. And at first, it was so weird having so much time, and I would get lost with my time. Sometimes I would find myself wasting hours and hours just literally scrolling Facebook. Don't act like y'all haven't done that. But it's just such a waste of time. And then one of my mentors mentioned calendaring my hours. And I was like, I don't really know what that means, but I figured it out really quickly. And it has been a game changer for just my life in general, but also in my business. And let me show y'all. So this is my like old school calendar. Kind of looks like a teacher, my old teacher plan book, whatever that was. But it has the date. This is November. I flipped forward, so y'all didn't have to see mine. But it breaks it up every 15 minutes. So this starts at 8 o'clock. I start my day at 6 o'clock, but I do the same thing every morning. So it starts at 8 o'clock, goes all the way to 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes I plan even longer than 8 o'clock at night, because I'm definitely a night girl. But you can plan your whole day out. You can plan your whole week out. And you don't have to have every 15 minutes in there, but it just really helps to calendar. That's what it means to calendar your hours. You are breaking it up 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is during the day. You're breaking it up so that you know what is going on throughout the day. And I start my day 6 a.m. I can pretty much look at my calendar and tell you what I'm doing throughout the day. This is being intentional with your time. So remember, we have 24 hours in a day, and I choose to make time for things that I want to accomplish, right? And I stay on schedule for the most part. There are things that throw me off. This past week on Monday, oh my goodness, I got a call from Olivia's school. She was crying. Her arm was hurting. Those of you that don't know, she's got like rods and plates in her arm, bolts in there. So I panicked just a little bit. Not really, I didn't panic too bad, but I called the doctor, and then they told me to go ahead and bring her into the hospital. So it just threw my Monday off, because Mondays is is usually a busy work day for me, and I have a very important call on Monday. So it threw me off, but mommy duty to me always is going to trump other things. So your calendar may not always go as you have it planned out, but that's okay. All right. You are a mom and we can adjust things accordingly. I am going to admit that I'm going to add 2 things to my calendar each week that I haven't been doing. So the first one, I hate to admit this one, especially if my sister watches this because she's going to hold me accountable, but I am going to calendar in my exercise. That's one of the things that I like to kind of be like, if it fits in this little section that I have open, I'll add it in. And then somehow I seem to not add it in. But I'm going to add in exercise. And then I'm also going to add in a date night with my husband. I just think that those are 2 important things that need to be added on the calendar. They should be a priority, at least in my life, they should be. So I'm going to be calendaring that into my schedule each day. So if you're one of those people who keeps saying you don't have time for something in your life, first off, quit saying it because it just isn't true. And if you're looking to maybe make time, maybe cut out scrolling on Facebook or watching TV. Maybe wake up a tad earlier. I did not want to do that, and now I actually enjoy my mornings. I wake up at 6 o'clock and I have me time and personal development, and I drink my coffee and all the things, and it just helps my day. So be aware that you have to be intentional with your time if you want to make the most out of life, right? I hope that you have an amazing Sunday. I had on my calendar tonight to work my business from 5 to 7, and then decided to just do a little pajama and pizza party with some of my team, which one of my teammates is sitting right next to me. She's not going to show her face though, but we're just going to have fun, work together. So I've got to go order the pizza. All right. Talk to you guys later.